We're here at Exodus Institute, 816 North Laramie. Thank you, please. And we're here on a Wednesday, and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Chicago. And I happen to have Miss Elizabeth Lockhart here with me from the Healing Temple Church. We used to do some wonderful things together in the parades. Dr. Lockhart has, for over 30 years, been doing the Say No to Drugs parade that we sit back and Exodus Drum and Bugle Corps come and perform for, and several other groups in the city of Chicago and the suburbs come and join in those wonderful parades. And right now, I'm going to let her have it, the show, and bring it to you the way that she wants to bring it, because she might want to invite some people out to that parade, when we're going to have that parade, and how you can contact her, and some of the things that they're doing at the church and in the community. So, Sister Lockhart, would you elaborate upon some of those things that we happen to mention there?
Sure, but first of all, thank you for inviting me to be part of your show and part of your program. I think it's an awesome thing, the awesome work that you guys have been doing for many, many years.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And to see you still in the fight, and to see you not giving up through sickness, through death, through depression, through oppression, you are still here.
That's right.
So let me just say thank you for being here for our youth and being here for our community, and keeping things alive and keeping things going, because that is so important, that we don't give up despite the adversities we may face, that we stay in the fight.
Yes.
And thank you for continuing to fight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and the work that you continue to do, sometimes with little money and sometimes with no money.
No money.
So we're grateful for those. Again, so thank you for this opportunity. Let me just say again, my name is Dr. Elizabeth Lockhart, and I'm the Executive Director for the Dr. Lockhart Resource Institute. We are located at 4941 West Chicago Avenue on the west side of Chicago in the Austin community. So we are basically neighbors. So we have been on Chicago Avenue now for over 40 years. And it started with my father, the late Reverend Dr. Arthur Lockhart, who was the former pastor of Healing Temple Church of God in Christ. And he came to the west side of Chicago from many years ago from the south. He came with a third grade education, but his goal was to make it better for his family. And so he came to the west side of Chicago, but he started in the West Garfield community. And wanted to make a better life for himself and his family. When he had enough money, he moved to Austin because he thought that was upgraded. So coming to Austin and working as a janitor, he pastored a church. And when he pastored the church, he became an entrepreneur and made it better for his family and his 8 children. And my brother, one of my brothers, you know, we've been to Austin since, you know, we walked down the streets and we saw all the stores that were Austin. I don't know if you remember Jewel's.
Yeah.
Used to be down there. Walgreens used to be down there. Buddy Bears used to be down the street. So we were flourishing, you know, with a lot of businesses on Chicago Avenue, being able to walk the streets as a young lady going to high school at that time. But since that time, we've seen things disappear in our communities. And my father, when he moved into Austin, they would say, Dr. Lockhart, you going to put that glass in your church? He said, you know, they're going to bust it all out. And he said, well, you know, you got to train people how to treat you.
That's right.
You have to train people. If you keep on caging them up, they're going to act like what you treat them like. But if you let them know that you have an expectation for them, then they're going to respect your expectations. And so we never had that problem. So as he moved from Rice, because we started in Rice Street, 5916 West Rice, and he moved from Rice Street to Chicago Avenue, where we are now. It used to be, I don't know if you remember, it used to be Harlow Electrical Company.
Okay.
And he took that electrical company and transformed it into a church. And became a light in the community. So we did all kinds of things, you know, to get it built, from sidewalk sales to selling dinners, snowballs on the corner. You know, we used to get bags and carry cans in the bag so we could get the money. Whatever we did, we worked together.
And you all had a hardware store.
Yes.
I can recall.
Yes. Once the church was finished being built, my dad was very business savvy. And so he bought the hardware store across the street. And then from the hardware store, he got the corner building, and there was a dollar store.
Okay.
So, but he saw the need in the community because the drug was very rapid in the community, and it still is. It has somewhat, people have gotten smarter.
Right.
And so they're not always on the corner like they used to, so they've gotten smarter how they do things. But he started the Say No to Drugs and Violence. It started off as Say No to Drugs Parade.
How long has that parade been going? I mean,
This year would be 35 years.
I knew we've been doing it for over 30 years. I think we started in 1994, 95. We started doing the parades in 95. And my God, that's a long time. And I'm so glad that you and your brother kept his vision alive by still doing and performing that. And I think you also added on some other things that you were doing.
Yes, yes, we did. We did add on the parade. But what was so funny when we started the parade, we started with the U-Haul, you know, the trailers.
Right.
So that's all we could afford. So we had the U-Haul trailers. We would decorate it with paper and stuff, and it wasn't no floats, but it wasn't no floats. That was the float. But he was so determined that we didn't have bands, and so we were borrowing little bongos or whatever with cymbals and marching, and because he was determined to make a difference. And so he started that parade. He didn't live many long years after that, though.
Okay.
After the parade, but he was very, very passionate about saying that. So as years progressed, and we took ownership of the parade, that's when we updated. And I said, you know, we need to have some floats.
Right.
So we started, you know, campaigning, raising money for floats. And then as the years progressed, and a lot of violence was happening in the community. So it went from just drugs to people starting to shoot, and things started happening like that in the community. And so we added Say No to Drugs and Violence.
That's right.
Because it was very important that we understand, and we would do, you know, make signs like hands up, don't shoot.
Right.
You know, I want to live. So the little children would be doing that, and we have some little children we work with now. They started in the parade when they were like 3 and 4 years old. Now they're 20.
Right.
And they're still marching the parade. It's just an awesome experience. Last year we incorporated and we added on the scholarships. Okay. So now we do scholarships.
Now, you know, you mentioned something about you have to train people. You know, people don't just know. And I didn't do a whole show, but I went to several funerals. And in these funerals, I noticed the young men were coming in. And by them not coming up in churches or different places,
right,
they just kept their hats on and walked through the church like it wasn't anything, you know, and they weren't Muslims, you know, where you take the shoes. They didn't take the hats or the shoes off. So I didn't quite see, it was like something that you're not supposed to do in church.
Okay.
But they were not taught. And so I did a class on YouTube here at the center to teach the young men, you know, how to respect. Learn, you got to take your hat off. And a lot of those children that are performing, well, acting out downtown Chicago and on the beaches right now, they haven't been taught. And we have to reach out to them and to teach them some kind of way, because they're not in the churches, but we got to reach them.
Well, you know, since you said that, I will add to that is that, you know, the church is a place where people come to get the spiritual enlightenment. It's not necessarily a place where you come to get home training.
Okay.
Home training, that kind of training starts in the home. But what's happening now, you know, with a lot of stuff, is you got kids raising kids. And so, you know, the grandmothers are no longer
45 years old.
Yeah, there's no more big mamas.
Right.
Because big mamas would help with the children, but now you got the mamas in the clubs with the children. So you don't have a balance of parenting and parenthood, teaching your children how to act, and you know, and everybody sometimes wants to put the blame on everybody for these kids.
Right.
But it starts in the home. You know, we didn't. When we were coming up, we weren't. The police was our least worries.
Right.
We were scared of mom and daddy.
Oh, yeah.
But now, because there is no parenting in the home,
Okay.
they pass mom and daddy in the police station.
Well, you know, we were talking about this the other day, talking about how the parents, I grew up at Henry Hunter Project.
Okay.
And if Miss Parson told your mama something, it didn't matter what it was, you were going to get a whooping by your mama.
Oh my God.
And Miss Parson, if she saw you doing something,
yes,
she could whoop you before you got to your mother.
And we would pray. So Miss Parson, please don't tell my mama. Whoop me, but don't tell my mama. Just please don't tell my mama.
You know, and we used to have what was, in my family, we had what was called, we would have, the family would get together on Saturdays.
Right.
And we would do, they would tell us like Bible stories.
Right.
This is how we learned, and all the kids, we would sit around, and after we had popcorn, and we might watch Shock Theater afterwards, but all of us had to go. And Big Mama would tell it to me and some of my aunts over on my mother's side of the family, and I used to try to get slick and run away.
Right.
And go over to my other aunt's house, and then Aunt Byrne over there would be doing the same thing with the children over on that side of the family. I say, I just can't get away from this Bible stuff. You know, all I want to do is eat popcorn and watch Shock Theater. But you had to be obedient.
Absolutely, absolutely. You had to do that. And also, as we were growing up, you know, I think one of the biggest things that is exciting is this level of madness with the young people is just social media.
Mm-hmm.
There was no social media when we were growing up. No, when we were outside, we enjoyed baseball,
right,
softball, it was kickball, racing, and riding the bike. Those kind of games, they don't play no more.
Well, they can't. Mm-hmm. You know, we had jobs here last summer, and it was 3 young men. Now, they stay about a block off of Chicago Avenue here, but they're on the other side of Pulaski.
Right.
And the father of one of the young men would bring them to work every day, all right? And if he didn't drive them to work, they wouldn't come to work. Okay. And Mr. Allman said, what's wrong? Why y'all not coming to work? I said, man, I ain't getting on, I'm not standing out there waiting on that bus. I can get shot waiting on that bus to come out here. You know, and they weren't in no gang or anything, but it was just the way
fear,
the society is now.
People, you know, and everybody is, you know, almost, it's just a dangerous time right now, you know, raising your youth, raising your young people and trying to keep them safe. And it's very difficult, you know, trying to keep them safe, especially when parents have to work. Right. And so parents have to work their own 8-hour jobs, sometimes 10-hour jobs, and they're leaving the young people to kind of take care of themselves. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when we were coming up, it was Big Mom. So it was always somebody around. You were going to be in the house by yourself, but now we get unsupervised, and they're on the social media, and God knows what they're looking at.
And you know, they're getting younger.
Yes.
Causing all of this crime and different things. You know, it used to be the older guys, maybe when they got in their teens, like upper teens, that would cause all the difficulty because they were out doing other things. They wanted money, they wanted to dress, they wanted to do certain things. But now they're starting to do it at 10 and 11 years old. You know,
I'm telling you, 13-year-olds still in cars.
Right, you know, and so it's a different society, and we have to reach them and meet them where they are.
Where they are.
You know, and you all are over there at the church, and you're doing so much for them. And you're not only helping the youth at the church with choirs and different things, and it's so wonderful that you and Mr. Allman get together and get these performing groups to come through.
Absolutely.
We had the dance competition up at Columbus Park.
That was awesome.
All those kids came from different
We were wondering where they come from. We didn't even know they were here.
Yeah, they were, I mean, from Wisconsin and Ohio, and all of them were right here on the west side, and they were doing dances, and they had these wonderful uniforms on, and there was parents out there. It was wonderful to have the joy that it just brought me and Sister Lockhart just being in their presence to see how wonderful it was for our youth to sit back here and have something to do where it was positive in the neighborhood and the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things in the parade is that this year what's going to be different in the parade is every year we try to add something to it because we wonder, are we being effective? Because, it's good to have a parade, but it's just not about the glitz and the glamour. It's are we affecting, are we changing lives?
Okay.
I remember the scripture tells us in the Bible that heaven rejoices over one sinner that repents.
Yes.
So that means just one person. So if we can affect or change or cause one person's mind to think differently, because that's where it starts at. It starts in the mind. They got to think differently.
Right.
And it's hard to think differently. And people say this facetiously, but in the Bible, when Moses was trying to get the children of Israel out of the wilderness, I said even God couldn't change their mind.
Oh, yeah.
So you got some people,
stubborn.
you got some stubborn people. That's why we rejoice and we're glad if we can just turn one person's life around, because that one person's life will affect somebody else's life and do that. And so with the parade, besides after the parade, we've incorporated a lot of resources that people can come and get the help that they need. Now this year we're going to be working with ComEd.
Okay.
So ComEd is going to come and we're going to set up a booth with ComEd, because a lot of times families struggle if you have if the parent is struggling, then that makes the kid struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to meet their needs. And so we're working with ComEd. We're going to have booths set up for not just ComEd, but we're going to have the whole seat up set up and get assistance with light, gas, water bill.
The water.
Exactly. We're going to have the water department out there. People who have homes and have questions about the taxes, they're going to have those kind of things. So after the parade, our goal is to have a total community fair, so that everybody can get help on every level from vaccinations, from the health, from enrollment in school. We're going to have the colleges out there.
Okay.
They'll be offering opportunities to apply for admission and scholarships. And those individuals, the trade schools, those individuals who don't want to go to college. Everybody's not college bound.
Yes.
And so being able to offer those, kind of, and that's another thing too. They've taken those kind of things out of high school.
That's right.
Further preventing our young folks from getting jobs and becoming employable to get that kind of skill. The nursing skill, the cosmetology skill, the pharmacy tech skill, the secretarial skill, all of those skills. Those schools are basically dismiss those kind of programs. So we'll have the trade people there because maybe you want to learn a trade.
That's right.
We
have to.
Yes, and so that's our goal for this parade is change lives in the parade. After the parade, affect community. Mm-hmm. And that's so important. And that's what we want to be able to do this year in the parade.
And there are some other things that I learned when I came to the parade. There was a little kit that they were given because there's a lot of people that kind of use drugs and different things, mm-hmm. and I forget the name of what it's called, but we got some of them upstairs.
Narcan?
Narcan. Mm-hmm. In case people, because we do have a little program here mm-hmm. on Wednesdays and on Sundays.
It's a nice program. Don't say little.
Okay, well we have.
I'll tell you why. I had a store, a bookstore, right, and it wasn't a great big store, and I would say people. I got a little store, and the Spirit said, stop speaking that to your life. Mm-hmm. You have a program.
I didn't understand that.
And so having a program, so we're not going to say it's a little program. Okay. We have a program. Because you are what you say you are. So you have a program here, a good program. My dad would say, you just as good as the next person.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that's different is what you speak. So we're going to say you have a program here.
We have a big program.
There you go.
On Wednesdays and
That's
Sundays.
Right. That's right.
On Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, they're here, and they'll telling you and teaching you how to recover
Exactly.
from certain difficulties that you have. It's just like a regular church.
Yes.
You just come here and learn how to take care of yourself. And if you don't go to church on Sunday, they happen to be here Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
So that you can come here and learn how to recover from certain things. And that's all the church really is for a lot of us out here. You know, we go to those churches so that we can sit back and learn how to get back to God. We're actually learning how to be spiritual enough to get there. So this is the same thing that we happen to have on Wednesdays and Sundays here at Exodus.
So during the parade, we do have a vendor that's out there that's set up with the booth. And during the parade last year, we had to actually use him.
Oh, wow.
We had to admit somebody was walking in the parade and had an attack. They had did whatever they did, but we had to actually perform that service in Narcan with them and brought them back. So, yeah.
You know, and by us being over here on the west side, there's a lot of people that come out.
Yeah.
And on that day, can you give us the date?
It's going to be Saturday, July the 29th. It starts we kick off at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. we kick it off. And we march, and our route is, we go from 4941 with Chicago Avenue. We go all the way down to Central to Chicago Avenue. Then we go north up to Augusta, because we want to make sure we stay in the community.
Right.
And then we go from Augusta back to Cicero back to Chicago Avenue, and we disband back to the church where we'll have a lot of entertainment. We got Michael Jackson coming back this year. We got the South Shore Drill Team.
Okay.
Yeah, we have several other bands, Jesse White Tumblers.
All right.
There's a couple other dance teams that'll be coming and performing during that time. That's where all the colleges will be. There's free food all day long. We transition from hot dogs to the real food.
All right.
Yeah, so we go from hot dogs and burgers, and after a while we pull out the barbecue chicken and the spaghettis, the corn on the cob.
The green?
Green beans.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to look into that, Mr. Altman. Maybe we can go over to the place and get some greens or something and throw something together and kind of accommodate some of those seniors that want a little cornbread and greens, and you ain't gotta even give us no utensils. We know how to do it the old school. But we just happen to have in our midst, because he does praise dance also. Michael?
My son is Michael Jackson, and he does praise dance.
He can do the praise.
She just said.
Oh yeah, we know he's going to be. She said he's going to be on the show, but I'm letting her know that he does praise dance. I didn't say just the Michael Jackson. I said he does praise dance. So it don't have to, you don't just have to wait for the parade to get it. But you can come and get him on a Sunday morning.
Oh, okay.
You know, and at that service to show the youth of the church how they could possibly get into something like this and do some things that's wonderful for the Lord also.
Okay.
You know, so that's another thing that he does.
Look like we have a question from the audience.
We got a question from
the audience.
Do we really want to take it? Give him a mic.
No, give me the mic. I just wanted.
He's inclined to speak now.
Wait. I wanted to share, because she didn't get to share. She donated a van to us.
Sure
Yeah, didn't I have 15 passenger van?
I forgot all about
Uh-huh. Long time ago.
Wow. Sure. Got all about that.
You working for God, baby. You ain't keeping track of what you do. You just do what you did.
That's a good thing.
And you know what? That is so wonderful that we're also going to be, we're with the World Peace Run.
Okay.
I got some flyers outside. I took you over to one of the peace trees.
Right.
And it was on me and Mr. Altman's heart.
Okay.
Last year, Mr. Altman happened to be a little at the time.
Okay.
And he said, let's get Dr. Lockhart one of those trees over there.
Okay.
And I said to him, I said, do you want me to go to Elizabeth Lockhart and do it? Because he was helping you with the parade.
Right.
He said, no, I want to do it.
Okay.
You know, and we didn't get it done last year.
Okay.
But we're gonna get it done this year.
Okay.
For Dr. Lockhart.
All right.
For his efforts on saying no to the drugs.
Right.
Cut the crime out in our neighborhoods. Let's get some peace, love, harmony back in our neighborhood. Let's bring some joy throughout our community. We could do this thing ourselves. And it sounds like we're gonna have a wonderful time at that parade.
Yes,
And
yes,
especially
yes.
afterwards, Mr. Auburn gonna make sure that we get the greens. We're gonna get those donated. And we're gonna have corn on the cob, you say?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Ooh,
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Look at my camera, man. Wipe your mouth now.
Absolutely. So what I want to say before we're done is I also want to congratulate your organization because you also are a recipient of a community grant this year from the Alderman's office.
Alderman Mitz,
Yeah.
you see her picture back there. Show that
Right.
picture back there on that wall while we're.
Okay.
Can you turn that camera
I can
around
see,
there?
I can see. And so this year, the Out-of-Library Resource Institute, we were responsible for administering grants, many grants to the community. And so we said we cannot forget Exodus.
Oh, right. Thank you
And
so much.
in doing that,
round of applause, please.
and so not wanting to forget Exodus, and so we were giving out, $500 grants, $1,000 grant. And so I said to all of them, I said, what should we do? She said, Dr. Lockhart, let's give them $1,000.
Hey,
And I said, all right.
All
So
right.
they're going to be the recipient of that grant, and I will be administering it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, big round of applause. You're gonna have to hurry up and you're gonna get turnip greens and mustard greens. It was gonna be colors at first, but we're gonna do top class.
So I'll be doing that tomorrow for the community, and it'll be at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. We start at 6. I start before she starts her meeting because I don't stay for the entire meeting, but I come there to administer the grant because it's administered to our organization.
Okay.
And then I leave. Okay.
So you're gonna be there at 6?
Sure he is. It's gonna be there.
Well, we wanna.
So we have another comment from the
We
audience?
got another comment.
Yes.
Can you get the camera on him before he do the comment?
What is going on with the New Boys Club?
The New Boys Clubs, when you say what is going on, I need to know what do you mean what is going on, because there's a lot that's happening. So if you want me to speak to something specific, I can.
Yeah, the Alderman stated that they want Exodus to be a part of the Boys Club.
Okay.
That's why I was just asking do you have any information on it?
When they'll be done, because we
I mean,
still.
as far as, I'll get back to her to see exactly the capacity that she wanted us to.
Right, because I don't really know the capacity in which she wants you to work with the Boys and Girls Club. I work on the other end of making sure it's up and running and properly and everybody's engaged. But individual relationships I don't work on.
I got one thing to say too. Back in 1995, you say, we used to go, you all used to have a hall. And we would go upstairs and do little banquets and all that.
Right, yeah.
Do you all still have that hall?
We do. We still have the hall. We don't do a lot of banquets up there anymore, but we do have the hall. We use it as needed. If a lot of things are going on, if somebody needs to use that space. But we rarely use the hall because, we used to have a lot of dinners. We don't have as many dinners as we used to for stuff like that. But right now, it is still there, it is still available, and it's still lovely as ever. But we don't do, especially since COVID, we really don't do a lot anymore now.
That COVID messed up so much.
Messed up so many things. But we're still here.
Right, we're still here.
And we're still thriving, and so grateful for that.
On April, I think it was April the 15th, we were at Stop the Killing program with Mr. Shannon Doyle.
Okay.
In Columbus Park.
Yes.
And we had a bunch of veterans there, the American Legions. They were also there with, and Sister Lockhart led us in prayer and everything. But I learned something that Sister Lockhart and Pastor Lockhart are doing over there. This is furthering on some of their father's, Dr. Lockhart's, avenues that he started. There's something that you all are doing for some of the men some of the veterans and different things.
Oh, yes. So we do have a veteran program, and we started about 7 years ago, and our motto is saving lives. We took that motto because when we became aware of the number of veterans that were committing suicide, so our whole program surrounds itself around suicide prevention. And so it's about saving lives. And so we meet once every month, and when we meet, it's a celebration. We call it a celebration of life.
Okay.
So we believe in celebrating life while you're living and not waiting until you can't celebrate.
Okay.
Somebody else will be celebrating for you. So during that celebration of life, we play bingo, we eat tremendously. There's a spread. We shop. There's all kind of products for them to shop with care products, household products, you name it kind of products. Then we feed them, and then they take groceries home. And we do that once a month. And so many veterans have been so helped with that program because it gives them, when a person's on the right at the brink of committing suicide, it's usually because they don't have a reason to live anymore.
Right.
But we give them a reason to live.
Yes.
So they hold on to the next meeting because they want to be there. That's their reason.
Right.
They said, if it wasn't for this program, we would be dead. You give us a reason to want to live. So they live enough to get to the next meeting. And that's important to us. So we don't know how many lives we've necessarily saved, but we know we've saved many of their lives. And we just don't do the third Monday, but we have events for them regularly 3 or 4 times throughout the year. We provide assistance if we need to go to their homes. We have the buddy systems where we check on them every month, do a monthly wellness check. We send inspirational messages every week to them. We help make doctor's appointments. We help take them to doctor's appointments. We help them with their lights. We help them with their gas. We help them with the rent. And we're now rehabbing our 6-unit building on the corner of Chicago and Laverne. It's going to be veteran housing.
Hey, man, give them a round of applause because that's some work in the neighborhood. That's the Healing Temple Church. And you've heard the areas that they happen to be healing our neighborhoods and our community off up in. Is there a number that they could...
Sure. Yes, please do. The number is 773-378-9649. That's 773-378-9649. And again, the address is 4941 West Chicago Avenue. And anyone that answers that phone will be able to help you because our veterans are our priority and our seniors.
Yes.
And our seniors. We love them.
And we want to thank you so much. There's another question coming from the audience out here.
I usually see, I don't know, do you have food pantry as well?
We have food pantries, thank you. We have food pantries every Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Every Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Since the pandemic has ended, we used to serve you every week, but now you can come once a month. And there is a tremendous need. Have you seen the cost of eggs and milk?
Oh yes, I really have.
A dozen of eggs is $5.
Right.
Yeah, milk is almost $5 too.
And
Man, that's $10 already off my bill. But guess what? We pass out milk and eggs every Friday.
thank you,
Milk
Lord.
and eggs, so they need that, and bread, you know,
Yes.
and
Do
we
you-
have good bags.
What's
We
the,
don't have
what's
this
the
no.
qualifications?
All you need
that
is an
have?
ID, and we want you to live in the community. When I say the community, in the Austin community.
Okay.
So we don't have enough food to serve Chicago.
Right.
We have enough to serve our community. You know, those with zip code 60651, 60644, 60639. That's our community. And so that's what we serve. And so all you need is an ID to show us that you're in the community, and you're more powerful. We'll give you a card to get you registered, and you walk away with fruit. We have fruit, vegetables, dry goods, canned goods,
Okay.
meat, produce. You name it, we have it at. And so it'll be enough grocery for you to eat at least a good 2 weeks.
It sounds like you may need to bring a shopping cart.
You do. You will need a shopping cart when you come. You will need a shopping cart when you come. You know, so yeah. And I want to say that my brother's the pastor. That's Pastor Larry Lockhart.
That's right.
He's the pastor of Healing Temple Church. A lot of people think I'm the pastor, but I'm not. He is the pastor.
She's the executive director. So she does all of the hard labor. She's
There
like
you go.
Mr. Albany is over here with Exodus. They do the hard work. Those executive directors, they are hard workers in our neighborhoods and in our community. But
And we have to look for the money.
question.
I question real quick about the Boys and Girls Club. Is that just for young adults, or is it for elderly, or is it just, you know, is it an age?
It is an age group. It is up to 24.
Okay.
And I think the question that you might be asking, I think they have a community room for the seniors
Yes.
and all of that.
Yes, we have a community room that we're going to be using. We're going to start up programs in the community room. And in the community room, it's going to be able to be rented out for special events. Not food related though, only like trainings,
Okay.
you know. And we hope to get it running where we'll be able to have a program, different programs for the seniors in the community by registration, and offer different arts and craft classes. So it's really part of building a community and bringing community together in this very nice space that we have.
What about swimming and things of that nature?
Swimming is going to be part of the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
You know, it won't be for our seniors or anything like that, but it will be part of the Boys and Girls Club. They will have swimming and baseball and all those kind of things for them. And it's going to be affordable, because we know technically one of the biggest issues when we were doing the Boys and Girls Club is that it was going to be expensive, and our kids wouldn't get the opportunity to go and be part of it. But we've waived those things, and they will be able to be part of the Boys and Girls Club. And they have so many programs to offer them, especially with those trade programs where they can go and do that.
What about the housing in that area? I see them building houses over that area. Is that part of?
By the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah.
That's not our initiative right now. If the housing and stuff is being built, it's because they see that that area needs to be improved and grown. But we are working on housing in this area here. You know, we used to housing right down the street. We hope to get that up and going. That was part of Mayor Lightfoot's initiative. Yes, and so hopefully we can get that moving along with that bank. But as far as the Boys and Girls Club, that is a project that's probably up and coming based upon all the things that's happening in that community and on that block.
We did a nice tour. Alderman Mintz took us on a tour through that facility, and it's the police and the fire department's training facility off up in there. And I mean, they got all kind of different training that you could sit back and simulate going through that facility. It is really nice down there, and hopefully we'll be able to utilize it. And
Right, you'll only be able to utilize the community room.
okay,
Because we have to keep in mind, it is an academy where training is designed for training to go on. And so we have to offer them in the community because it's specialized. And so they're also going to have the Department of, I forgot, took my time, I can't remember now. Where they go in and investigate the police department.
Okay.
At wrongful shootings, that's also going to be there. It leaves my mind now back. Yes, COPA, thank you. COPA is going to also be stationed in there.
so COPA's going to be training there, or they're just going to be stationed?
COPA's going to have an office there,
Okay.
inspection office there, yeah. And we're also just now we're adding on to it so that we can train now the responders, the emergency responders from the ambulance.
Okay.
We're getting ready to do a facility now where they can get their training there.
Also in the building?
Also in the building. It's going to
You
be
know-
a separate building, but it's part of the campus.
Okay,
Right.
so it's being built.
It's being built.
You know, it's so wonderful to have this over here on this side of town, because it's going to probably get ambulances and police and fire department to different areas quicker for us.
Well, the good thing about it is that the campus where it is, we're going to be able to train officers from all over the world,
Wow.
different states, because we have the highest technology just being
In
built
that
now
one
in that one facility. There's none other like this
Yeah, it is a
around
one
there.
of a
So
kind.
yeah,
It
so
definitely is.
they're going to be coming in to train for that. I'm just glad that I was a part of that team of having to get together, so, yeah.
And that was a $30 million project?
No.
Oh,
It's up about 80 million now.
$80
Yeah.
million placed
Project.
over here on this west side.
Right, right. So I'm glad for that, I'm glad, yeah,
We
so,
all are. And,
Yeah.
and one more thing before you go, that we have to do too, because we have police officers and firemen.
Mm-hmm.
And they went in a fire today,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman passed while they were trying
Mm-hmm.
to rescue her. They just pulled the body out. They need some love and support also.
Absolutely.
Because police, especially the police officers, a lot of them kill themselves.
Yes.
Because of some of the crime and different things that they've seen out here, you know, so. we
And that
want-
rate has been going up too.
And it really has.
Suicide with police officers, the rate has been going up.
I didn't know, and it's so many of them, they happen to be alcoholics now.
Yes.
Because of some of the things that they've seen and done out there. So we want to be able to get some things and share some love with those police
Right.
officers and firemen and first responders
Right.
or whatever the case may
Right.
be. And I just had to say that because the Healing Temple, they be out there, the fire department and the police department, the Cook County sheriffs, all of them be out there with the Healing Temple at that parade.
Absolutely.
And so I just had to share that information.
Well, thank you for this moment, this opportunity to
And
share
thank
with
you for
with
staying
your,
so
with your
long.
audience and with your family, with your friends. Thank you for letting me come into your space.
So you
Share the
all,
works.
put your hands together once again for Sister Elizabeth Lockhart and the Healing Temple Church. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Hi, so we're back because I forgot to mention that in the community, we also have 2 laundromats for you to serve. We're at 4840 West Chicago Avenue, next to the library there. That's called Loads Upon Laundromat. It is black owned, we own it, our family owns it. We would love for you to wash with us. And we just recently opened up a new one in Oak Park, right on Chicago Avenue in Austin, right across from the Enterprise Rental. That's our second laundromat. And it's also called Loads Upon number 2. The laundromats are open from 4 a.m. up until 10 p.m. at night. And so feel free to go by there and wash with us. It is black owned, it's family owned, and it's all part of the church's way of creating entrepreneurships and keeping the wealth in the black community.
And one other thing before you turn that mic off, though, there's something that you're about to create for those that happen to be the homeless or something? That-
Right, we're creating a program for the homeless so they can wash their clothes free.
I think she deserves a round.
Yeah.
That church, that's called healing the community. It's the Healing Temple Church. And once again, we want to thank you for coming out and giving us all that wonderful information and that blessing that she gave to Exodus. And we want to thank you and Alderman Mitz
Right,
for thinking about Exodus.
all right.
Thank you again.
We on the road.